Back again with another video. This time I'm looking at the TC20 version 2 LED torch sent in via ThruNite. Give you a bit of a hands-on detailed look. Some of the included items: wrist strap, O-rings, you get spare covers, there's a spare switch cover as well, and a split ring. And they've also got a holster that's included. ThruNite are pretty good with their bundle. They've got quite a decent selection of items. Tend to be a bit better than most of the makers out there. Now we'll move on to the torch just to show you the dimensions and the size. This is using a 26650 battery, so it's going to be a bit shorter but more stubby, and I'm absolutely perfectly fine with that battery, though some people do prefer the 21700s. Finishing does look a bit better than some of the ones that I looked at recently from the company, so perhaps they have improved that. There's your flap cover for the Type-C port. It's not that deep, but they do give you some spare ones just in case it does get damaged or knocked off. You do have the AR coating on the lens, and we've got a moderate texturing on the reflector with this, so we're expecting sort of a mixed beam pattern. Not much else to see apart from the hole there for the wrist strap. You can unscrew the base or tail cap, although it is quite stiff. You've got quite a chunky spring at the bottom. Battery, 5000 mAh, that's 18.5 watts an hour. And that's a protected cell as well. So just remember, if you're using protected batteries, you want to match that output. The X-Star battery that I have, that actually trips in the turbo mode. You can also unscrew this from the head. That part is greased up. And just a quick look there at the inside. Medium thickness on the aluminium. I'll give you a close-up shot at the circuit board at the top there with the contact points. The holster that comes with this, it's not the best quality, it's not the thickest that I've seen, a bit of a lightweight holster, but I think it's acceptable for the overall price of the package and the torch. We'll move on to the user interface. It's quite simple with this torch, single press on or off. When it's on, all you need to do is just push and hold to cycle the power levels. You only have the 3 power levels in the normal mode cycle. To get to the turbo, that's a double press. The strobe mode is a bit unusual on this. You have to be in turbo, so you either double press to get there, or if you're already in turbo, just another double press will take you to the strobe. Doesn't matter how long it's left in the turbo, the next double press will take you onto the strobe. If you want to get to firefly, that is a long press on the side switch. There's no electronic lockout on this torch, so you're going to have to twist it to give yourself a mechanical lockout. It's easier to just twist it on the head, I find. Do have the usual ThruNite LED indicator for the battery level. Charging is quite quick, it's around about 2 amps, so it doesn't take too long to recharge the battery. User guide is up on screen for you if you want to have a look through that. It does also list out the voltages on the battery level indicator. What we do now is move on to the beam shots. We'll start off with the Unicorn, modest output, 850 lumens. And you'll see there's some fairly big jumps in several places on this torch. We've gone up to 320 lumens, which is a bit bigger than I'd normally like to see. And then we're up to just under 2000 lumens, it's 1853. I would have liked to have seen another power level in there, around about the sort of 800 or 900 lumen mark. Then finally up to the turbo, which is just over 4000 lumens. Although it is quite a floody torch and it's not a huge range, it does have a hotspot in the middle. It's fairly large, so it's not super floody, although it isn't by any means a long range torch. Time for a few more beam shots, then I'll give you my usual summary and conclusion at the end. some of my thoughts with the ThruNite. This is quite an interesting torch. I do quite like some of their ideas and the design in some areas on this. Let's move on to the pros and cons now. First obvious point is, which I've mentioned earlier, is the mode spacing. I think they could have done a bit better job with that, possibly put another power level in there between the medium and high. The torch does get pretty hot when it's been put into the turbo or the high mode. You will definitely feel the heat off this after a few minutes. ThruNite tend to be a bit hot with their torches compared to some of the other makers. On the upside though, we do have a pretty good bundle with this torch, quite a lot of extras included. In terms of value for money though, this does offer quite a bit, particularly if you're looking for something in the region around about 3,000 to 4,000 lumens. I personally prefer a slightly longer range on the beam, but this is perfectly usable for a general purpose torch. As usual, any thoughts or comments, do let me know below, and I'll see you soon.